Hi, Jasmine. First of all, congratulations on being a part of this SharkFest. It's been such an interesting view so far. For you, what got you into marine biology and especially shark science?
Well, I grew up fishing with my dad in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So I really connected with the ocean through fishing. And then I went to a summer camp in high school, and they told me you could get paid to study fish. So I decided, yeah, that's what I want to do. That sounds awesome. So then I went to college, and that's where I fell in love with sharks. So I started working with a professor studying sharks. And I just realized, hey, these are really cool animals. They've been around for a really long time. People have a lot of misconceptions about sharks, and I want to be part of moving people from fear to fascination and telling people about how cool these animals are. So that's what I've been doing ever since.
Definitely. And Myrtle Beach is such a beautiful beach. And every time I've gone to Myrtle Beach, there's been shark sightings. So, having grown up in Myrtle Beach, how familiar were you with sharks and how much did you learn about sharks before you actually started being a marine biologist?
Yeah, actually, I didn't interact with sharks all that much. We would sometimes have people on the piers where we would fish, catch sharks, and it was more so like, oh, somebody got a shark, everybody reel in your line, because whenever somebody got a shark, they would kind of have to fight them and they would swim around and get everyone's lines tangled up. So it was more like a, oh man, somebody got a shark, more of like a nuisance thing. And then I started getting into studying sharks and learning about them. And I was like, oh, wow, these animals are actually really cool. And I wish that I would have been paying more attention when I was younger to the people that were catching sharks. But yeah, I didn't actually have much interaction with sharks because we were mostly fishing for food and we didn't eat sharks. So we were always going after the bony fish. So those were the fish that I was most interacting with whenever I was fishing.
Yeah, sharks are definitely interesting creatures. For you, what have through your research, what have you found out about sharks that, most caught your attention?
I think that one of the really cool things about sharks is that they are so varied in their shapes and their body plans and their adaptations. So one of my favorite species of sharks, the bonnethead shark, is actually omnivorous. It was the first shark discovered to be omnivorous, so it eats both plants and animals. And the with some of the studies that we've done with stable isotopes, which is how we can tell what sharks are eating based on the chemicals in their muscles, we can see that bonnetheads actually make eat about 40 to 60% of their diet is seagrass. So in some cases, they're actually eating more grass than they're eating meat, which is pretty interesting. So cool things like that are just little surprising fun facts. And bonnet heads also have different head shapes based on whether they are male or female, which is also really cool. But interestingly enough, we've found out that the heads change over time, and so they get more round as they get older. And they start out more pointier, especially for the males. And so that's really interesting that their heads actually change shape as they grow. That's really cool.
That is fascinating. For you, how important is it to share information about sharks and make sure people are educated so, a lot of the myths get taken away and people are able to understand sharks a lot better?
I think it's really important. I think that a lot of fear is instilled in people through media and sort of the sensationalization of sharks. And I think that when people have positive interactions with sharks and they get to see sharks in a more positive light, then those feelings start to change. And when those feelings start to change, people start to care and they want to protect sharks and conserve them, and they're more activated. And so I really think of myself as sort of a shark PR person because other animals like dolphins, whales, sea turtles, they've got great PR people. People are always like, save save the turtles, save the dolphins. There's not as many people shouting, save the sharks. And so my goal is to encourage people to start pushing for regulations to protect sharks and wanting to conserve sharks. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that people don't fear them because people don't want to protect what they're afraid of.
Definitely. In order to, get more research done, be able to be activists and for conservation of sharks, how important is it to have a partnership with somebody like Nat Geo that, puts out information about sharks every single year in SharkFest?
Yeah, I mean, National Geographic has a huge platform, a very well-respected, trusted platform where people go to for information. And so, because they have a big platform, they have a really big responsibility to be mindful of the stories that they tell and how they tell those stories, and to be able to be in partnership with them to make sure that we're telling stories that share sharks in a positive light and that really focus on the science and conservation is a way that we can make sure that this Shark Fest that goes out to, millions of viewers, that the stories that are being told are going to be a positive tool for change. And so having the platform like that, being able to leverage a platform like that, and having a network that is really dedicated to making sure that it's science and conservation minded, and also that a wide diversity of scientists and science is represented as well, is really powerful and really impactful. And I definitely think that people are noticing that, and they're noticing the shift and the tone of the shows, and really appreciating that because people want to learn. That's what they tune into these shows for information and to learn about sharks.
Definitely. And you are the CEO of Minorities in Shark Sciences. Why was that important to you to be a part of?
So we created Minorities in Shark Sciences, or MISS as we call it, to broaden participation in marine science, particularly the study of sharks and rays, because we want everyone to be excited about marine science and to have a voice in how we study and conserve our oceans, because our oceans make up 70% of our planet. It impacts us all, and everyone should be part of that conversation, no matter what income level you are, no matter what race, what culture, what language you speak, you should be involved in that process if you want to be. And so that's really what Miss is all about, is exposing people to this and allowing them to be a part of this and to get into this career if that's what they want, but also just to use their voice as an activist as well, even if they're not in the career of marine science.
Definitely. Well, congratulations on this. I can't wait to see more of the Shark Fest, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.